Hello, hello. This is the third of the videos where I'm commenting on student blogs from ctpf15, section 2. In this installment, we will get comments on Kelly's, Kobe's, Libby's, Marissa's, Matt's, and Nicole's blogs. All right. Make sure that you did watch the introductory video that gives you a little background about what I'm going to be talking about and what I won't be talking about. And let's take a look. The bridal bubble. Here we go. The bridal bubble. This is just very cute. I really like it. The little hearts and the bubble and the things and the things. And I'd love to know how you made these. And maybe you could show us. It's just really very nice. It's a very clean blog. It's sort of elegant, like a wedding is supposed to be. I would love if there were this is an image, I would imagine. Let's see. Yeah, it's an image. So I would love if it was like advice from Kelly or Kelly's guide to weddings or something like that. So we know that this is not just a corporate thing, that this is really from, Kelly O'Brien, even though it's right over there. It's really very nice. I like these follow the bubble type things. Not sure where these are linking to. Google Plus, Twitter. Does the bubble have a Twitter feed? If so, then that would be follow the bubble. Because if it doesn't, then it's just following you, and you're not the bubble. You're Kelly, but in part you run the bubble, but you're not the bubble. So, but if you want the bubble to have its own bubbly Twitter feed, then we can follow the bubble. If not, we're following Kelly. So just make sure you're using that appropriately and it is consistent. We've got your tweets. We've got the bubble busters, recent posts. About this about page is this little bit is so far down at the bottom over here. I don't necessarily think we need it. It would be much more effective to have a menu somewhere that allows us to have an about page, because I do not see an about page, and we really need to have one right there. All right, let's take a look at the post. The first wedding on Hawk Hill. No comments. It's very nice how they've styled the date on here. I saw it was a little screwed up on a mobile device. You might want to check that out. The spacing needs to be taken care of. I mean, these are lots of spaces, and I'm wondering why are we having these spaces. I'm reading. First wedding. Okay, so I read this post and I'm expecting the first wedding on Hawk Hill. Like, I'm looking for vintage photographs and like people sort of standing up really straight because they got old cameras, or stories about the first weddings. I'm not sure what the first is when I'm reading this. Maybe it was the first time she was married. I'm just reading it very quickly. I'm also this is a very hard to scan as we're thinking about it in terms of blogging with scanning. Some headers throughout here would be great. There's no links to anything. The art museum, perhaps we can have a link to. I don't know, but we do need to have some sort of linking going on through here. That's a nice group of happy people there. Very exciting. Little. You have permission to use this picture from whoever you got it from. I'm not sure if it's yours or not. Nice tags. Great. Do we have a category for here? Category. The bridal bubble is the category. SJU wedding. Okay, great. And the bridal bubble is a category too. Okay, great. Yeah, I would make sure the title here is a little not connecting for me. It's a nice picture, I guess. I mean, they could be over here. It would be a little bit better. I would crop it down. But it's sort of nice balancing, rule of thirds business. Did you take this picture? I'd love to know that too. If not, we really need to have a discussion about that. We really need to have some credits going on. But otherwise, very, very nice. Okay, let's see. Kobe, black is the new black. Excellence, celebrating the excellence of and demanding justice. Okay, celebrating the excellence of and demanding justice for people of color. It's a strange, I don't know if that changes if I move the screen. Does that change? It does change. That's a responsive. This is what a responsive theme is, by the way, when it will adjust based on the size. Look at my terrible desktop. Oh, yeah, I'm the worst. All those screenshots are terribly organized. Let's see. So we don't know who is writing this, and I've said this on the others. We really need to know this. Celebrating excellence in color dimensions for people by Kobe Amisa, right? Something like that. So we know, make a name for yourself. We've got this Black Lives Matter at the top. Let's check out your About page. All right, now one thing about this theme and the way that it is presented is that we have Black is the New Black, and then we have the Black Lives Matter. And I'm not sure, I know this is an image here, but what it's doing is it's taking up a significant amount of real estate, screen real estate, because we've got this big chunk, and then another several hundred pixels, and then an About, and then we've got this little teeny little description of you, and blah, blah, blah. Again, I think that you should not talk about yourself as a student, talk about yourself as an activist, as a writer, as an engager, as somebody who is interested in these kinds of things. Get yourself in there, take the student out. You're a professional, you're a writer, you're a communicator, you're doing this because it means something to you, and use this post to really help you, and look to her, even her own About page, to see what's going on there. So, I might take this out. You could put Black Lives Matter in the tagline, something like that, but I would take that out. The nice little menu up top here. It's a nice theme. It's a very nice theme, and I like what you're trying to do with this. We got a photo problem. Admin. We talked about changing the admin for another blog, but that might have been. So you could. It's best not to have the post be by admin. You should have it be by you, Kobe. You can change that in the settings area. Entertainment. That's the category. That's great. Here are your tags. Wonderful. Having a little trouble with your images for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's my browser. Do we have links? Links to How to Get Away with Murder website. Sandra Limes' link. Does Viola Davis have her own webpage? So we need to get some linking going on here. I like that you have the acceptance speech. I would love it if you had more of a commentary on what's going on other than amazing congratulations, Viola, stay on. What are your thoughts? Really engage this. If a reader is going to come to your site, they want to know what you're thinking. Tell us what you're thinking, okay? Categories. Get this uncategorized one out of this. So whatever you have tagged as uncategorized, get rid of it, because you don't want this showing up in here, okay? I like that you have your tweets. We've got a search. It usually goes up on top. Let's take a look at I Stand with Ahmed. Yeah, we're having some problems with my browser and your pictures. It's good to have the source. Here's the list of facts. Supporting the tweets. This is nice. I love the embedding of the tweets, and people should be doing this. All sorts of cool stuff going on here. Nice linking. You see a little difference in the linking here than the other one? Got your own Twitter feed that you embedded. Very cool. You figure out how to use a text area. Nice. Stay strong. You do this little stay strong business, but I would love to have some more commentary than just stay strong. I mean, you can have the stay strong, but I'd love to see a little bit more. Other than that, is that this is a nice theme. It's very crisp. It's not cluttered at all. It really allows you to focus in on the material. Just like take a look at some of the things that I mentioned. All right, food from Libby. Oh, this is going to get me hungry, isn't it? What is happening here with your header? Okay, so this site is designed for a browser that is this wide. And you can see what happens when we get into something that stretches, right? It's sort of tiling your header. And I would check under the header preferences for your theme if there is a checkbox for tiling or center or what. Because you don't want this to happen, because this is kind of a weird bifurcation going on here. So I see this is about food, and you're spelling it differently because it's about Philadelphia food, and that's very exciting. We need a tagline, which you can do in the settings area. Your about page should be completed by now, so please go and do that based on what the article is saying and make it look really good. The Dairy Cafe. Is this for the lactose-free heart? Probably not. You see how, just for everybody, how Libby added just a little border in the advanced settings in her images? I imagine that's where you did that. Very, very nice. It just adds a little bit of cleanness to this, and we can take a look at that in class and talk about that. Pizza. I should not be reading these blogs while I'm starving. It's just about lunchtime. Categorize as lunched. Little tags. We might have a tag for the restaurant as well. Just be aware that all of your content is centered. Now, this might be on purpose. It might be sometimes when you're adding images and you center them, the text gets centered as well. So you might want to just make sure that that's what you want. Bakery. I think that as a class, we need to have the people who are doing food blogs bring in food. I really do, so we can eat them, eat the food, because that would be yummy. Ice cream. All right. So a lot of people are starting to have these recent comments here. Until you have a large selection of comments, I would remove the recent comments feature, because people are like, what, no one's commenting on it? Categories about. So a lot of what you've got here in your about, this is sort of your proposal, right, can be transposed into your about page. So the kinds of things that you're going to be writing about, the kind of things that you're interested in, that could all be part of your about page. And eventually, when you've got your about page done, you can just get rid of the proposal. Don't delete it, just hide it, change the visibility feature. If you look at the add new page, there's this visibility area, and you can click edit and you make it private, and then people won't see it. It will still be in your dashboard in case you want to go back to it, but that's what you can do. We do know who this site is about, so a tagline like food, fun with Libby or something like that, libations with Libby, I don't know. But I like how you're linking to different areas. I like how your images, even, so you notice here the picture here and the pictures up here that have the border, they just look a little, they just have that, the little border just gives it a little something else, a little panache, it's something that makes it fun and exciting and much more professional. It's not just a picture that someone took with their phone. Like I said, I'm getting hungry looking at this, so I have to move on because I can't eat till I'm done. But it looks nice. The theme, the layout is nice. You change your admin. Make sure that you are alerting people that you're doing the review. Okay, you could email them afterwards and say that you've been doing this, and so that they can see it. They would love to see that. They'll link to it from their Facebook page. People will read it. That's a very important thing that you can do. And when you do send it, send the static URL. Each blog post has its own URL. And so you can just copy that and send that along to them, just letting them know. You can tweet them, and you should include their Twitter feed and all that sort of stuff. All right, but that's looking very nice. A little taste, more food, and experience food with Marissa, okay? Take me, Marissa, take me to experience food with you. I just went with Libby, now I'm going here. Federal Donuts. Now you Snap-on custom pizza. I read these the other day, and May was like, I need to go to these places. This has a fun little feature. It goes whoop. I do this just for the fun of it. Whoop, whoop, like that. Nice categories. They're fun. It's all about the food. Weekly spotlight, so we can see what's going on there. Let's click on one place you don't want to miss. Donuts. The one thing about this blog that I might change is the size of the font. Now we can do that if you want to come to my office, I can help you do that through the code, the CSS code in the back. It's a little more advanced. We'll have time to go over it in class. But I would go ahead and do that. What is this business? What is this? Chicken? Fried chicken at a donut shop? What are you crazy? This is a fried chicken donut business? Goodness gracious. Cool, right? Interesting on tables, you're able to sit. Oh, these are fun. This is to encourage you to eat and go, right? Eat, have fun, get up and go. So you're there with your friends. That's great. Do we have tags? Tags, chicken, dessert, donut, food, Philly. We might tag the restaurant there. Weekly spotlight, very nice. Food, blog roll down at the bottom. Let's click the About page. And I'm a foodie. Okay, so here I'm going to recommend everybody do this. Take out the student's business, and you are an expert in food. Okay, now this is a very nice picture of you on the streets of Philadelphia near this cool parquet post. However, this is a food blog, so we might have a picture of you eating a hamburger or something, right? Really getting into it, maybe surrounded by sandwiches and donuts and things of this nature. So really connect that. We also need to have much more of a robust discussion of yourself and the kinds of things that you'll be doing, like the kind of stuff that you're finding in your proposal. I like the font up top. It's very restaurant-y script. Yeah, so I would just look to some of the other things I said in the other blogs and adapt them to yours. But otherwise, it's making me very, very hungry, and I need to move on. Okay, great, Marissa. All right, so this is Matt's Fall Football and Fantasy, a guide to the NFL and fantasy football by Matt Zebrowski, or from Matt Zebrowski, or from Matt Z, or whatever you want to be called from, or from Zebrowski, whatever you want to be called. The theme is nice. It is clean. It is professional looking. It really gets you into the. It makes you realize that something interesting is going on right here. Okay, but we do need your name associated with this. Let's see. This is my first time looking at this. The Giants have been screwed for so long. This is unbelievable. I have a lot of trouble even rooting for football these days, knowing that everybody's getting their heads beat up and they're going to wind up dead from some sort of brain disease. I have trouble watching the games anymore. But I really enjoy how you're using headings, right? I like how you're using images and 538. That's great. You got a little credit down there. Some sort of layout issues going here. Maybe that one you want to pop to the left. I'm not sure if you need to link to the Seahawks sites, but it might be something that you could do. Again, with the recent comments, there have been none. I like how you've got the little share buttons and so on. That's great. There is no about page, so I have no idea who this blog is about. I do see that you're doing these often, which is great. I do think we might have some images in here, maybe some bold printing, so we were able to see what's going on. And you should have a Giants feature, really, just for me, right? So I can learn more about the Giants. Okay, but I think this is looking good. Change the admin. Make sure you got some tags going on here. It's fancy news, but we need tags as well. But really, it's really looking very, very nice. Okay, Global Gypsy. And then I realized that the adventure are the best way to begin. Okay, I want you to take a look at this blog, and just because this is one that we had right before, this is what we call clean. There's crisp edges, right? There's a lot of white space. There's not a lot of distractions for what we're looking at. We realize we're looking at this content and that we're going to be taking a look at it. This one is very cluttered. Okay. I like that you've figured out how to add these background images, and this is really quite nice. It's a nice little watercolor with the hearts and stuff. But it is a little cluttered and it's a little distracting. And this static header really cuts down on your screen real estate, especially for users who don't have giant browsers. This could take up like half the screen. So I would encourage you to find a different theme. Okay. First of all, one that allows you to do a little bit more with it. With the sidebars down at the bottom, what you've got here is you've got like two screens worth of stuff, and we've got a Twitter feed down there. We'd love for that to be up top. All these nice tags would really need to be up top. Uncategorized, we want to make sure we're categorizing our posts. Okay. I love that your mom is commenting on all these things, and your dad too, which is kind of fun. We're going to talk some more about the content at some point, I think. Posted by Nicole, I think that's great. You got all these tags here. We want to change your category. I like how the date appears. Parts of the theme are very nice and appealing. You're doing the linking. Nope. See, I hover over this and I want, because it's blue and I think it's a link, but it really isn't. If you're going to have a link, please make the text linkable rather than just popping in a URL right there. We should work on aligning our images a bit too. Okay. See, I think this is a link also, but it's not a link, is it? Any of these colored things I think is a link, but you've got these as links, which is kind of, they're hidden because they're not distinct. So like this is part of this theme, and the theme might not be the most effective thing for us. So my phone is ringing. I'm gonna get that in a second. Sorry about that. So the content that you're writing, I see you're doing a lot of writing, and that's great. But I would try to start incorporating the text into the link as part of the text. So I'm clicking on this, for example, and not on that. Get those images aligned using the left and right feature so I know which text the image actually goes with. And I think updating the theme a little bit will help. And again, we don't know who's writing this, the Global Gypsy. Who are you? What is this all about? Is this a header image? Yeah, that's an image. This has a lot of potential for some really great stuff. So I think if we just get it organized a little better, we'll be all set. All right, that's video 3. On to number 4.